All right.
So,
You have to go all the way back to 2020 for this stuff. So, in 2020, Tor disclosed that there was going to be an SEC settlement and that the only way forward for the Enigma community, like holders of the token, was to do a one-to-one swap. Next day, SEC announces, or it gets announced, that there is a settlement between Enigma MPC and the SEC. Enigma is deemed a security. Already had the information, has to be a swap. And I said, all right, I'm a holder. I had a bunch of money in this that I invested over years and didn't want to be left behind. So I went forward with this one-to-one swap. One-way bridge, pretty easy to make. On the Ethereum side, you just burn these tokens, the ENG tokens, and in the message you insert a secret address. And then on the secret side, we propose, that side of the bridge or whatever, where on the secret side, we monitor, we see those burns, we confirm those burns, and we mint secret. And by we, I mean like the community. There was a number of us. So that was like the first situation with this person. And that was in early 2020. And pretty quickly the community, we had this new ecosystem. Enigma never really launched to mainnet. So we had this new ecosystem. And pretty quickly the community wanted like a foundation style thing. So a number of community members, some of them are still pretty active, came together and we brainstormed. One of the hottest topics there was like for-profit or non-profit. We went back and forth and all the alignment seemed to be around a non-profit. I was offered 1 million secret from John Kissigan, the co-founder of Enigma MPC, to start this with a number of people. I don't remember the exact people, but there's a document that says what the original people were supposed to be. And we had the opportunity to pursue that. We didn't. I'm a technical person. I'm not super strong with the soft skills, so Tor really stood out as somebody that we should maybe trust for this. So we handed over the reins. We gave him the domain secret.foundation with his promise that you'd proceed with what the community wanted, and we gave him this concept, and on chain we approved this thing to create this nonprofit organization to push forward the network, and he incorporated it right away as a for-profit, which was interesting. He convinced enough people, kind of, I guess, with his smooth talking, that it was okay. And when you look back on it, what happened after was just like a series of lies. When they presented these transparency reports, first of all, they didn't really share them, is what they're claiming. Like, they've only put them on Discord. They didn't actually, they're claiming they didn't share them more widely, while having, the website and blog posts say it's an NPO. And I guess, the first transparency report came out around, April 2020. Or April 2021. I mean, yeah, it would have right. It would have been April 2021 that the first transparency report came out. April, May. Didn't really disclose enough. And the follow-up proposal to that, there was heated discussions between the end of 2020 and mid 2021 about the taxes, and this apparently, looking back now, we know. In June of 2021, the foundation was victim to this like OTC scam thing, which they hid for, they say 18 months. I'd have to look, but what Torres said was 18 months. And you know, they presented this report to us, the community, the day before we put forward a proposal after many heated discussions around their funding, especially associated with them, you know, ending up not being a nonprofit like they promised. And you know, they hit this event where a bunch of money went missing through this scam, and like every proposal after that also lacked like a ton of knowledge around what was actually going on. They were presenting these reports saying, you know, here's how much money we have, you know, here's what we spent it on, etc. While just totally leaving out this stuff. Fast forward to the end of 2021, you know, they're still doing this, they're still putting out these reports with missing information. Somewhere around the top of the market in 2021, Tor does some sort of OTC deal or something, where the foundation gets, you know, they're the beneficiary of a few million or just somewhere in the 7-figure range of money, and he cashes it out to himself in a dividend. And a couple months later, he closes on a $1.8 million home in a nice Chicago neighborhood.
How many months later?
A couple months after he did this. So this would have been early 2022. A couple months later, it was like March or April 2022 is when they got this house. I believe that would be the date. It's a public record, so you can just look it up. But yeah, I mean, he takes this 7-figure dividend out of the Secret Foundation. These are community funds, and he buys this house. While he's doing this, there's also arguments in the community about, you know, hey, should the foundation pay for this? Should the foundation pay for that? Hackathons, different things that the community wants, things we've been asking for since 2020. And like even in the original like document that we still have discussing what the foundation should do, you know, some of these things are in there. And he's saying, oh, the foundation is under-resourced, we can't pay for this, etc., etc. Whole while he is pretty much, you know, chilling in his house that the community paid for. Yeah, there's some granular details that aren't really here. There's context behind a lot of conversations. A lot of gaslighting happened, where people that were compensated by the foundation or working at the foundation in general or for were fighting with the community, trying to say, you know, foundations being transparent, always trying to like flip it, like say, oh, if you want transparency, what do you want? Even though it was pretty much detailed, you know, early on in documents that we still have what we wanted. We also passed a proposal, or I think it was July 2022, with like a big list of asks from the community in it. It consisted of things that we've been asking for since 2020. Foundation did not listen to them. They, you know, they claim that they just needed more time to like comply and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, today that's pretty much where we are. People are finding out this information, and I don't really know what happens next.